Perfect, cheers, bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, this April, school holidays, the Exeter Chiefs community team will be running their popular Train Like a Chief holiday rugby camps in locations in Devon, Cornwall and Somerset. They're suitable for any children under 7 to under 14 age group.
Good afternoon, everybody. Slightly later than planned, but welcome to, I have to say, as a sun-kissed Sandy Park for today's Allianz Premier Cup clash with Loughborough Lightning. I will be joined up here on the gantry by Olivia Churcher in a couple of minutes, just in time for kick-off. But until then, I'll just go through the teams for you, starting with the Exeter Chiefs. Susie Appleby and Steve Salvin have named a strong side for this one, knowing that a victory will secure them qualification into the Cup semi-finals. In the backs, Meryn Doidge continues at full-back, and she's joined in the back three by Olivia Jones and Ailey Sinclair. In the centres, Kanako Kobayashi continues at 13, and it's a warm return to the side for Gabby Cantorna, her first appearance since November after sustaining injury away on international duty. At half-back, Brooke Bradley is joined by Patricia Garcia, who is the Chiefs' top point scorer in the competition this season with 18 points. And up front, Hope Rogers, Clara Nielsen and Laura Delgado form a formidable looking front row. There's strength all over the park for the Chiefs. McKinley Hunt and Linda van der Velden in the row, Ebony Jeffries, Poppy Leach and Kate Zachary in the back row, the two co-captains today at 7 and at 8. On the bench, Emily Totosi, Lizzie Hanlon and Dalika Menin will be looking to make an impact, whilst Charlie Willett comes back into the side for the first time since the last Premiership Cup match here against Worcester Warriors. Gabby Senft made her debut for the Chiefs a few weeks ago and indeed made her first start against DMP Durham Sharks. She can make her Cup debut today. And in the backs, Meg Davies, Meg Foster and Janine Detivo will be looking to make a big impact when they come onto the pitch. Detivo, of course, scored 4 tries against DMP Durham Sharks last time we were here. Loughborough Lightning as well have named a strong looking side despite missing players with the England squad today, and indeed with the Scotland squad I should say as well. For them, we'll quickly run through the team, starting at 15. Amanda Swartz, Amy Pyle, Bulo Matatoga, Emma Hardy, Georgie Lingham, Grace White and Jess Weaver in the backs. And up front, Tatisha Harper, England international, will captain the side, with Bryony Field and Charlie Jacobi joining her in the front row. Courtney Holtkamp and Abby Duggard form the second row, with Katie Trevarvan, Hallie Taufu, who was so impressive against Bristol in the league a few weeks ago, and Sarah Svoboda form the rest of the starting 15. On the bench as well, look out for the likes of Nena Oyeka and Molly Lufei when they come on, two young guns that will look to make an impact. Speaking of young guns, obviously there's players away on full international duty today, but there's players away on under-20s duty as well, and it's something I'll chat to Liv about when she's able to get up here on the gantry with me. 5 of the Exeter Chiefs women's side are away with the England under-20s at the moment. Maisie Allen, Nancy McGillivray, Flo Robinson, Georgie Grimes and Abby Middlebrook. They're playing away in France this afternoon, and last week secured a comprehensive 38-7 victory over Scotland Futures up in Darlington. Maisie Allen captained the side and scored a try as well, an incredibly impressive performance from her. Loughborough as well have got good strength in depth in terms of young England talent coming through. Georgina Tasker, Lily Ivers Campion and Nikita Prothero are unavailable for them today as they are away with the under-20s squad. I can just see Liv starting to make her way up to come and join me, and both sides have made their way into the tunnels. It's sun-kissed, as I said, and a fantastic afternoon for rugby in store. As I said, Exeter Chiefs know that a victory today will all but secure themselves a place in the last 4 in the competition. They started with a 19-0 victory away at, well, polar opposite of conditions today, absolutely blizzard-like conditions against Sale, before backing it up the week later with a 34-14 victory over Worcester Warriors at home. Loughborough have failed to win a game so far in this competition. They lost 22-12 to Saracens before going down 43-15 to Sale. But this competition is all about blooding young players, giving them that experience. And as we said, lots of the young guns away with the under-20s today, but there's still opportunities, the likes of Lizzie Hanlon on the bench, a key player for the university side this year, and Charlie Willett has made a big impression in her 2 cup matches. Liv has just come up and joined me on the gantry, breathing slightly heavily after having to complete the warm-up and then sprint up the stand to join me. I'll give you a second to get your breath back first. And we talk about this cup competition. It's, as I've just said, a brilliant way of blooding News Hallen and giving players minutes they need as well. And for somebody like Gabby Cantorna, such an experienced player, such a crucial player in this Chiefs side before picking up her injury. And it's great to see her back out on the field today. Liv, you look like you've kind of got your breath back. Thanks very much for coming up and joining me. You've been out there with the girls warming up. How pumped are they ahead of this?
Yeah, look, I know it's a cup game, but there's still a real buzz around the group. I think no matter what type of game it is, we're all here to win and put out our best show. So, yeah, everyone's pretty pumped up, and it's lovely weather here at Sandy Park today, so great occasion for it.
And I've just been talking in the build-up there about the under-20s. Obviously, you've been in and around the group, you know them all really well, and away in France today, a really tough challenge, but with five Chiefs players in that 23, it shows the strength in depth that we've got coming through, and the likes of yourself as well, and Millie Whitehouse have been involved too. So, apologies there, a slight technical issue, but here come the Exeter Chiefs then, out onto the field, led by Poppy Leach. And we were just chatting there, obviously had a couple of technical difficulties, but Liv was just saying about the university pathway and allowing those players to come through. And it's not just the likes of Lizzie Hanlon on the bench as well, it's the likes of Poppy Leach, Ebony Jeffries have all come through that pathway. And just whilst we're waiting for Loughborough to get us underway here, Liv, it's fantastic to see Gabby Cantorna back out on the field, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's been a long time coming. I know that all the girls are excited for her because she's been out for so long. Along with Brooke Bradley as well, starting at 9. She had a rough injury to her face, and it's great to see her back out there with fellow teammate Gabby.
We talked about that university pathway, that university connection. A whole host of players in this Loughborough Lightning squad today have been part of their university setup this year. Grace White at fly half, who's about to get us underway, co-captaining them in the semi-finals against Hartpury. Just waiting then on the referee's whistle. And we're underway here at Sandy Park. A bouncing, bobbling ball to kick off. Kate Zachary, as she does, mops up, tidies up for her side. And Bradley looking down the short side already, and Ailey Sinclair with a little bit of space fights her way to ground eventually. Emma Hardy making a fantastic tackle there, and there's Zachary again. Bradley scurrying around, getting her players back into position. A first touch there for Gabby Cantorna, and she's fed Linda van der Velde, and she's charging through, galloping through. Beautiful little step from the Netherlands international, but she's unable to hold on to the ball. And Jess Weaver is able to bring the ball away, and Sarah Svoboda flings it wide. Weaver back in position then. And there's Grace White on the ball now. And that's unfortunate there for Loughborough, crossing in midfield. And after that break from Van der Velde, an opportunity here for the Chiefs. You talked about Brooke Bradley there already, right on the pace.
Yeah, exactly. I think one thing that Brooke is really good at is injecting pace into the game from the off. And as you saw there, slightly lacking in the short side, and Brooke sees it straight away with great comms from her winger, and they're through straight away, which really set up that opportunity for Gabby then to pick that up.
Garcia then looks for touch but unable to find it. And Emma Hardy feeds Georgie Lingham. Chiefs fighting for the ball on the ground, but Weaver is able to get it away. And Chiefs still hassling and hurrying, and it's Poppy Leach there in the open side jersey today making that tackle. A penalty though for Loughborough, and a disappointing outcome there for the Chiefs. And Grace White will have the opportunity to send this one down the field. That one fails to make touch as well, but it has drifted forwards as Bradley looked to collect the ball there, and in the end a good outcome for Loughborough.
Yeah, one thing we were looking at when we were doing our pitch walk earlier actually is when you're actually on ground, the wind doesn't seem too bad, but as soon as you kick a ball up, it's going all over the place. So that one would have been really hard to take for Brooklyn, and unlucky knock on.
First scrum of the match then. I talked about it in the build-up there. Two front rows that are packed with experience. Tatisha Harper, Bryony Field, Charlie Jacobi and Hope Rogers, Clara Nielsen, Laura Delgado as well. A good first scrum there from Loughborough. It's Hardy popping up at 12, and White then takes the ball at pace. Ball to ground got by Garcia. And Loughborough then looking promising, looking threatening here. The space out here then for Loughborough. It's flung wide, it bounces and bobbles all over the place, and it's again a penalty for the Chiefs, offside. And Liv, I'm just going to pass you the mic here quickly. Just a little bit of a delay here then as Garcia lines up the kick. A little bit more conservative this time, but it doesn't find touch, but it's picked up superbly. And Chiefs then, slightly fortuitously, but they're in possession and they've got themselves a penalty as well. And a poor kick there from Garcia. She'll probably be disappointed with that, but fantastic chase work there from the Chiefs pack. Much better kick that time, 7 metres out. Doesn't go to plan though for the Chiefs. And Loughborough then will look to mop this one up. They're still pushing and pressing. There's a big drive there.
I think a bit of commentator's curse there on my part. That's a great kick downfield from Loughborough, well gathered by Brooke.
Let's see what Chiefs can do then. Bradley to Delgado. First time we've mentioned her name so far this afternoon. And Loughborough then still pressing, and they've managed to get the ball back. It's a penalty for Loughborough. You can hear Emily Totosi down below us roaring encouragement, and so you can't see it on your live feed, but I'm sad to say a balloon that was being held up in the crowd has been lost and is now slowly drifting over the stand behind the end that Loughborough are attacking. In the meantime though, it's a good kick to touch there from White. And it's been a little bit scrappy, you have to say, in these opening 6 minutes or so. And time off then from the referee. Let's see what happens here then. A great line out from Loughborough. Quick ball. And there's White, feeds the ball on to Hardy at pace. Tisha Harper then on this left-hand side, giving instructions to play it the other way to her, and there's a penalty advantage coming for Loughborough. There is space here then. White again looks to spread it wide, and that's a beautiful pass over from Abby Dugard. And Loughborough bursting up towards the Chiefs 22 now. No advantage coming though, lost on the floor, will come back for a penalty.
I think it'll be interesting to see what they do here, because teams have been struggling so far to find touch and they're pretty central in the pitch. I say that, the referee has walked closer to the touchline than I anticipated.
An interesting call here then for White. Does she go for broken? And she does, rather than playing it conservatively. That's a brilliant kick from her. Grace White, as I said, a player that's picked up lots of experience this year playing for Loughborough University in the Bucks Women's National Premier. So many of these Loughborough players have this season, and Liv, just whilst we're waiting for this line out to be taken, that whole university pathway, it's for clubs like Loughborough, for clubs like Chiefs, it's a fantastic pathway for everybody, like you've been saying.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got well-managed academics. I know here the girls, the work comes first and they train a lot with Chiefs, but when they have important games at university, I know that the likes of Nancy McGilvery have been called back into her university side to help in the big games.
And Loughborough then, Chiefs have done well to snaffle that one back, but it's come out to White, and that's a really interesting crossfield kick into the sun, bounces over everybody's heads and just into touch there, but they had the penalty advantage. You can really see how difficult it is to see that ball coming out of the air there with the sun where it is at the moment. 4 players all looking around wondering where it's going to drop. And Loughborough again here, you would suspect, are just going to pump this one into the corner and keep up the pressure that they've been building in these last few minutes.
Yeah, I think they're going to look to maul it. That's what most teams will do in this area, maybe run some short lines off the maul then. That was a good idea though with the crossfield kick, nothing to lose, but coming back and it's now their possession again in a very dangerous position for Chiefs.
Pressure on then for Bryony Field with the throw, and she's done that perfectly. And Ebony Jeffries is in there looking to try and make a nuisance of herself. She's pulled Harper out of there, but Loughborough are now creeping up towards that line. Chiefs doing what they can, trying to hold it back, but Loughborough are starting to motor, starting to power over. Bryony Field has the ball, and it's on the line. It's a try for the visitors. And you have to say it's been coming, and you have to say it's deserved on the basis of play in the last few minutes.
Yeah, definitely. I think they've been trying some really good things, and it's all sort of come together for them, which is really good to see.
You talk about the maul game, the power play, and talk about both packs. We've not really had a chance to see it from Exeter there, but we talked about Tisha Harper, Bryony Field, the try scorer there, and Charlie Jacoby as well. A front three like that are always going to be causing damage whenever you get into those positions.
Yeah, no, I think there's going to be a great contest today between our two packs, because as you say, there's a lot of talent within the packs and a lot of strong girls, so really good battle up front. We saw that scrummage earlier, didn't go anywhere for either team, so yeah, looking forward to it.
And let's see then what Grace White can do with this conversion. Difficult kick on the angle for the young fly half. And that one doesn't quite have the direction, but Loughborough then into the lead here at Sandy Park. And they lead 5-0 with just over 10 minutes on the clock. And Exeter, you sense, just need to get their hands on the ball, get back into those patterns of play that they are so used to and so comfortable playing.
Yeah, I think they did start really well, getting down into the 22 within the first couple of minutes. Just lost it in the line out there briefly and never really got back on top of Loughborough, but hopefully we can build from this restart here and get straight on top of them with a turnover.
And that will do wonders for the Chiefs. It's been knocked forward and into touch from Loughborough straight away from the restart. And Chiefs then with the scrum now. An opportunity to get that possession and get that territory back. And in the build-up to this one, Gabby Cantorna, when she was speaking to Chiefs TV, she was talking about obviously the difficulties she's had coming back with rehab, but She said as well about how she feels like a different player now and a bit more of a ball carrier as well. And a great opportunity to potentially see that here from her.
Yeah, 100%. I know myself from being in rehab for quite a while that one thing that you do get is a lot of muscle bulk, and for Gabby especially, she's looking really fit and strong at the moment, so be looking to break some lines today.
And here she is then on the carry, fed by international colleague Kate Zachary, and it's a good first bust up the middle of the park there, and then Nielsen, or McKinley Hunt, I beg your pardon, takes it on. Bradley then to Leach. Leach tips it on to Delgado. This is better from Chiefs, but they need support there. Matatoga's over the ball, but it's come away. Garcia to Kobayashi, to Sinclair on the wing. And she cuts back inside, wrestles her way to ground. And Bradley then looks down the blind side, goes herself, steps inside. Brooke Bradley, lovely little dart, lovely little scurry from the scrum half. And Chiefs now then looking to keep it tight as Hope Rogers. Has she got there? Has she got there? Yes, she has. Chiefs then, it's not taken them long. First real attacking opportunity in the Loughborough 22, and they're level. And that was a lovely little initial break by Sinclair, but that's what Hope Rogers is all about from close range.
100%. Hope is pretty much unstoppable from that range, especially with a few metres under her. She can really get some speed up, and she's just so powerful.
And that was just what the Chiefs needed, as we said. Really the first opportunity they've had to get into that Loughborough 22, and they've taken the opportunity there incredibly well. And Patricia Garcia then lining up the conversion with Gabby Cantona back in the side. You suspect there might have been a bit of a debate before this one about who would be kicking, both two world-class kickers. But Garcia, as we said, has been the top point scorer for the Chiefs in this competition so far. Let's see what she can do lining up this conversion. Almost from Garcia, not quite, just drifts to the left-hand side of the post. 5-5 here then at Sandy Park. And let's see what happens with this restart. The last one from White was a bit of a bobbler, it has to be said. She goes the same way, that's a much better restart. And McKinley Hunt does well to get under that. It's gone backwards from the Canadian second row, but Chiefs having to fight to get the ball, but it's come back on the Loughborough side. And Harper then looks to spread it wide, and there's Hallie Taufu picking up that ball initially. Just a slight delay here as Jess Weaver has to scramble to get there. It's bouncing and bobbling around like no one's business. Matatoga then hit hard by Kobayashi behind the gain line. Good pressure there from the Chiefs. They forced Loughborough back to halfway. Oh, and almost there from Kate Zachary. A fantastic intercept. Unable to control it though. It'll be a Loughborough scrum, but that was superb defence from the Chiefs.
Yeah, I think Loughborough will be quite happy that we've got a restart now. That was quite a messy phase of play, so they can regather themselves, settle their heads, and try and go again here.
Both packs then just settling in right in the middle of the park. And Jess Weaver, she's got options both sides. You suspect they're going to come towards this main stand with how they've set up. And with Deutsch having to cover the backfield, there is a 4-on-3 here for Loughborough. And Matatoga chips through. Deutsch has to go scampering across as Sinclair comes back as well. And it's chipped through there by Georgie Lingham, and then again by Amanda Swartz. Who's got the pace? It's Brooke Bradley getting back there. And that's a great chase job there from the scrum half. There was pressure there on her, and a nice little bit of clever, intricate play there from first Lingham and then Swartz.
Yeah, she's done really well to identify that space there. There wasn't any space for her to run it outside. They were overlapped with our defence. So a little kick through, and now they're in a great position to go and attack again.
And it's gone straight down the throat of Emma Hardy. And Grace White picks it up, feeds it on to Courtney Holtkamp. She only knows one way, and that's forward. And again, a awkward pass, but Matatoga then manages to spin it on to Pyle. That's a lovely little pass there from the centre, but it's a penalty for the Chiefs. Coming in from the side there against Emma Hardy, and Loughborough, after just building up a head of steam again there, a disappointing outcome for them.
Yeah, I think Loughborough are looking really dangerous ball in hand today. They're not scared to try things. They're quite a young side, as we mentioned before, a lot of them at university still. So I think their game today is going to be very exciting, and we need to watch out for that.
And as well, like I said, nothing to lose. Obviously, 2 defeats in this competition so far, but they ran Saracens close in their opening encounter. And 2 cup games left, players wanting to stake a claim for those shirts when players come back from the Six Nations as well. Clara Nielsen then to throw. Nielsen's been enjoying herself in the cup this season, 2 tries in 2 games for the hooker. That's a well executed line out there by the Chiefs. It's picked up by Garcia or Cantona, sorry, and on to Hunt, and Hunt bursts through the first tackle, and Bradley's there quickly. Garcia again, out to Kobayashi. Kobayashi then to Doige. Wrapped up well by Swartz. And Leach then tips it on to back row partner Ebony Jeffries. And Bradley then comes back the other way. Sinclair has to spin out of that first tackle, does really well. Eventually Trevathan pulls her to ground. And Van der Velden then jab the call onto Delgado. Runs straight into field, and Garcia again searching for space, searching for opportunities. Cantona, that one's not quite worked, and it's come back into Loughborough hands, and now Chiefs have to realign quickly. And Svoboda picks it up, offloads to Holtkamp, and Holtkamp bursts through the first tackle onto Matatoga, gets the ball away there to Georgie Lingham. Has to check back inside with Garcia and Doige right on the case, but Loughborough still going here. Holtkamp then with the carry, a big hit on her from Zachary. And it comes out to Bryony Field. Doige stops her well. And Dogood out the back to Grace White, and fed on there to Jacoby. And again, I keep saying those second row's names, as do I keep saying Matatoga's name. And she feeds it out there to Georgie Lingham. Lingham then looks to feed inside, but it's gone forwards. And just time off here with Sinclair down, receiving a little bit of attention at the moment. Having a player like Bulo Matatoga in the centres for Loughborough, though, when she wants to, she can get those hands working and getting those offloads away like no one's business. And just time off here then, as we said, a little bit of running repairs for Ailey Sinclair. And I have to say, I know obviously Chiefs will be disappointed to have coughed up possession there, but that was a really impressive defensive set as well.
Yeah, I think we've started to become a bit more dominant in our collisions, which is really important early on to assert dominance in those positions and kind of get on the front foot early. Otherwise, teams will build confidence and just start running through you. So a couple of double shots, and that led to a turnover.
Sinclair then is back on her feet. It'll be a scrum for the Chiefs then in their 22. I have to say, there's a reason I'm up here rather than down there, but looking at the way the pitch is today, looking at the space out wide, that's a tantalising prospect to potentially try and get the ball into the hands of Kobayashi and Liv Jones out there on that far side for the Chiefs.
Yeah, well, we saw just how dangerous Kaneko and Liv can be against Loughborough when we played them away at Northampton. They had an awesome link up on the wing, which eventually led to a try, so get it into their hands, and there's some great pace out there.
Although saying that again, talked about the commentator's curse earlier, that one's not coming out. It's a penalty at the scrum for the Chiefs, and that just gives Garcia an opportunity to send this one up the field. So there'll be a slight delay in play with Linda van der Velden staying down after that scrum. And just whilst we've got this little break in play then with van der Velden down, talking of second rows, obviously Six Nations starts today, a fantastic win earlier for England. Chloe Rowley going over for the try for Scotland. But Nicola Friday, she's come into the club, she's been fantastic and captaining her country against Wales this afternoon. you talk about the strength in depth, you talk about the players coming through, and you've got a player there like Nicola Friday who's about to show what she can do in an international shirt.
Yeah, it's amazing just being around that type of quality in the training environment. I've been unlucky this year with a few injuries, but even just being around the likes of Nicola Friday and Kate Zachary and all the other amazing players that we've got in our team really just makes you better as a player, whether you're on the pitch or not. So it's a great environment to be a part of.
Van der Velden then still down, receiving a bit of treatment, taking on a little bit of water as well. You can see the Loughborough bench warming up in the background as well. Silence echoes over Sandy Park. If Van der Velden is unable to continue, then you suspect Charlie Willett will be the player to come in to the side. Started both cup games and was very impressive in both cup games as well, it has to be said, in the second row. And whilst Van der Velden's okay to continue for now, which is good to see, that is the joy of this competition. A player like Charlie Willett as well had her fair share of injuries, but really taking those opportunities when they've come.
Yeah, it's great to see girls like her getting into the squad, turn up to training week in, week out, and put in massive shifts on and off the field. So to be given opportunities is really great. And as you said, she performed really well in the other two games. She's great up front in the contact, and hopefully we'll get to see a bit of her today.
So Garcia then finds touch just outside the 22. Quick note from Rogers to Nielsen of where the ball is going to go. And it's straight to Van der Velden and straight down into a maul for the Chiefs. That one's motoring at some pace. And that's got the crowd behind them. First vocal roars from this Sandy Park crowd this afternoon, and they've taken it up to the 10-metre line. Still marching it, getting closer and closer and closer to the halfway line. Loughborough having to track back at a rate of knots here. You can hear the drums and the chants of Exeter below us. Now, though, they need to get that ball. They need to control that ball. Nielsen is still on the ball. They're up to the other 10-metre now. He's almost getting up to a 50-metre maul from the Chiefs, but then Van der Velden unable to control the ball. There'll be a Loughborough scrum, but that was some statement from that Chiefs pack there.
Yeah, up until then, I think our forward pack's been pretty even, but that's some statement to march them over half a pitch backwards, and now we're in their 10-metre.
And it puts the pressure on this Loughborough scrum as well. Conceded a penalty at the last scrum, albeit on an Exeter Chiefs ball, and then to go back at a rate of knots like that is a big test mentally for them now. Is to make sure that they get clean ball for Jess Weaver to spin the ball wide to her backs. That's a great scrum there from Loughborough. And White feeds the ball wide to Hardy, and she puts boot to ball. It's an interesting kick. It's taken brilliantly by Amy Pyle. She's cut back inside and she's going. Has she got the legs? Has she got the legs? I think she's going to. Pyle in the corner for Loughborough. And you have to say it, that was some individual effort.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what we spoke about earlier. You wouldn't see that in Prem games, just taking a nudge cross field and with no penalty advantage. They're taking a risk, and it's really paid off for them there.
In the corner as well, so another difficult kick for Grace White. But Loughborough, they've been really impressive so far this afternoon. And that little feint and that little dummy there from Pyle, and then having the legs to get over with Kobayashi racing back to try and stop her.
It looked for a minute there like she was going to catch her, but great change of line to go for the corner, and she was just a bit too far out of reach for Kaneko.
And it shows there about the movement when you're going at full flight as well. Just a little dink one way and then the other, just to change the direction slightly when you're going for the line, can make all that difference. White then lining this one up. Had a kick from the left-hand touch line for the first try. Now she's got one from the right-hand touch line. Steadies herself. It has the accuracy, just not quite the legs from White. So it's 10-5 to Loughborough. And Chiefs again then back up to halfway and knowing that they need to put themselves back into the Loughborough half as quickly as they can. And Garcia then will steady herself for this restart. The challenge now for Loughborough to be clean under the ball. That's what gave the Chiefs that attacking opportunity last time. And Garcia then goes to the left. There's a bit of a juggle, but eventually it's taken well. And Weaver then gets herself into position. And Field feeds the ball on. Carried back into the 22, but then a long booming kick. Deutsch then having to really search for the ball in the sun, but she sets off back up towards halfway. And it's a penalty there for the Chiefs at the ruck, and it's just what they needed. But again, Loughborough's discipline and lack of accuracy just costing them after they've got to try and put themselves back in the lead.
Yeah, I think Exeter really need to build off this one here. Hope to get in the 22 with this kick and get some points out of this.
That's a good kick there from Garcia, and Chiefs are just outside the Loughborough 22. It'll be interesting to see what they do here. They saw what they could do last time out with the maul when they were able to get it right. And you wonder now, there's conversations going on. Poppy Leach, Kate Zachary discussing the decision they're going to take, if this one is going to be kept tight to see if they can get that charge on again, or whether they're going to look to use the likes of Cantona and Kobayashi out here in the centre field. First things first though, the ball has got to go to hand, and it doesn't. And Loughborough dive on it. Bryony Field there, able to collect it. And Jess Weaver, again the ball carried back into the 22. Grace White sends that one down the field, and it's bouncing all over the place, and Brooke Bradley has to go scampering back into her own 22. Steadies herself, puts boot to ball.
That's a great kick from Brooke. Under pressure, received it, lets the team reset, and now we're in a strong position to defend again here.
A great kick there from Brooke Bradley. Got a real lovely variety to her kicking game at scrum half as well. We saw it against Gloucester Hartpury at Kingsholm earlier in the season. Obviously that was her last game as well, picking up that injury. An opportunity then for Loughborough again on halfway. And that one did look a little bit suspect, as did that pass, I have to say. And the referee has seen it. Have to say, you wonder how vocal the crowd would have been if he hadn't given that. I could hear the murmuring starting up below me.
Yeah, a bit of a delayed call from the referee there. I think he was just looking to see where that play was going and if we could go anywhere from it. But
and Chiefs then with another attacking opportunity here. 29 minutes on the clock. It's been a little bit of a stop-start game so far, I think, if we're being honest with ourselves. Both sides had flashes of what they can do, but it's most of the play seems to have been featured around this middle part of the pitch here.
Yeah, I think basic handling skills haven't been great today. I know most teams have had quite a few weeks off, and it might just be a case of getting back into the flow of things.
That was nice link up there though from the Chiefs, and Kobayashi sending Jones charging up towards the 22. And Garcia then feeds the ball out. Rogers hauled to ground by Jacoby. And again, Bradley goes back to the left as Van der Velden there. Big handoff on Jess Weaver, and she's into the 22. Garcia then fizzes it wide to Jones. She's had to cut back in field there. Does well to pump the legs, get herself to ground. And Bradley again to Leach. Does well to hold on to the ball there with pressure on her. Garcia again, Rogers again popping up for her side. And it's quick ball now for the Chiefs as Garcia out the back to Deutsch. Holds it herself, Matatoga gets her to ground. And the Chiefs are just pressing here and searching. It's gone backwards, says the referee. Slightly fortunate there for the Chiefs. And Bradley has to go searching. Garcia then pops up in the hole, and there's Ailey Sinclair, a lovely line from the wing. And there is space now here if they can use it. Zachary, though, shunted backwards as she looked to get that pass away to Jones. And after working their way into that Loughborough 22, Chiefs have got to start from scratch again here. Rogers, how many times have I said her name in this last period of play? Garcia, show and go. It's bounced around and it's gone forwards off the hand of Delgado. It's a big win for Loughborough. You can hear their bench cheering below us there. Pressure still on though with the scrum down in their 22. But if you were mentioning the handling there and it being the first game back for quite a while for a couple of players, and just with time off here of a Loughborough player down receiving a bit of treatment, it's certainly something I think both sides will be looking to improve in the rest of this half and building into the second half as well. Yeah,
100%. I know that one of our strengths as a team is definitely our backs and our ability to link up and get the ball wide, but at the moment I think we need to have a look at the fact that it's just not working, run some hard lines with our forwards and just build from there really. I think we're trying to do too much and it's just not working for us at the moment.
When you've got time offs like this for an injury and for a delay, and it's not quite clicking the way that you want it to, what are the messages going on? You can see there a little conversation going on between Ailey Sinclair, Gabby Cantona and Kaneko there as well. Yeah, I think it will all just be trying to calm each other down and kind of keep our heads focused, and I don't think there'll be too many voices. We kind of have leaders in these discussions that will kind of take the forefront, but just trying to keep it simple and not get it too overcomplicated like I was saying a bit earlier. You could see there when the Chiefs were keeping it simple, it was very effective. I think I mentioned Hope Rogers' name about 4 times there, making those little carries off the first receiver and making those meters until the ball was lost. Yeah. Scrum for Loughborough then. We do have a lot of international talent in our forwards, and I think when it's not going to plan, it's definitely the right idea to just use that, hit the ball up and build a base instead of trying to overcomplicate things. Weaver then be searching for clean ball here, and she's got that from her pack, and Svoboda holds it at the base for the scrum half, and that's a booming boot away. Doidge chasing back, collects the ball on the 10-metre line. Matatoga then steps past her, but eventually Lingham gets her to ground. And Bradley then, there is space here for Brooke Bradley, a basketball pass out to Nielsen. And Bradley searching for the ball, demanding the ball, and Zachary then. Garcia at 10 again. Van der Velden again bursts through that first tackle. Pumps the legs and gets herself to ground, and there's quick ball again for the Chiefs here. And Ebony Jeffries, brilliant half break from Jeffries. Unable to get the ball away to Garcia, but that's what we've seen so much from Ebony Jeffries this season, pumping the legs through that tackle. And Leach onto Rogers. This is better from the Chiefs. Bradley then, it's just slightly slow ball, but Cantona to Kobayashi, a bit unsure of what to do there. And Sinclair checks, cuts back inside through the first tackle. There's a penalty advantage coming, a high tackle on the Scotland international there. And there we go, a penalty for Chiefs. Bradley takes it quickly, and it's gone to Nielsen. They're up to the 22. A slight bit of confusion there, but the Chiefs have got the ball coming back their way. And Leach then tips it on to Zachary, runs straight into Datisha Harper. Garcia again out the back to Cantona, to Kobayashi. There is space here if she wants to use it. Doidge unable to hold on to it, but it's gone backwards, and Liv Jones has got the ball. What can she do now? She's held up well, though, by the Loughborough defence, and they look to force her towards that touchline. And Leach again with the tip on. And Duguid has got herself over the ball there, but not quite for her team. And Doidge then just decides to carry it hard up the field. It's better there. Garcia picks it up to Van der Velden. That's a better carry from the second row, and she's got her side back on the front foot again. Garcia to Kobayashi. There is space, but it's difficult to find it. Leach throws the dummy, drops the shoulder and charges forwards. And McKinley Hunt again. That's a brilliant carry from McKinley Hunt. Bursts through the tackle, and she's in under the posts. And I have to say the Chiefs needed that, but that was really well constructed, and it shows what can happen when you just get that ball recycling going. Yeah, I think we started to find our structure at the end there. We
started running those forward lines, which just enabled that space to start a build as the Loughborough defence was starting to fatigue.
And that's the thing, isn't it, about searching for those mismatches, searching for those opportunities where a player might be slightly out of position. And a player like McKinley Hunt, obviously she's had her fair share of injury problems this season as well. But that's what she gives you, and that's what she brings you every time she's on the field, and she's picking up where she left off before that injury with her try-scoring form.
Absolutely, she's such a powerful player, and if she gets any speed going, a bit like Hope Rogers, she is very hard to stop.
Garcia then in front of the posts. It's not been a day for the kickers so far from the tee. Garcia will be hoping to change that now. Steadies herself, lines it up. And easy as you like there for Patricia Garcia. And the Chiefs then, with 36 minutes on the clock, have hit the front, 12-10 up, with half-time fast approaching, and with all of Loughborough's determination, with all of the fantastic play they've been putting in so far, that's a huge psychological boost there for the Chiefs.
Yeah, 100%. You definitely don't want to be going down into half-time. It's 2 points down, so that'll be huge for Chiefs just before half-time. We just got to keep our cool now and make sure that we stay up for the last couple of minutes of this half.
And that's going to help the Chiefs' cause as well. That one just drifting straight out, caught on the breeze slightly from Loughborough. And an opportunity for the Chiefs, with half-time approaching, to potentially try and fashion another opportunity here from this scrum right on halfway.
Yeah, I think this season we've seen just how dangerous we can be with our centre scrums. Kate Zachary, sorry for my pronunciation there. She can be great. She's really strong ball in hand, running. She's one of our fastest players, and she's a forward. So
I think it says a lot about Kate Zachary. I remember on one of the Premier 15's commentaries a few weeks ago, almost the shock and surprise of seeing a number 8 pick up and have that pace from the base of the scrum. Such a powerful, dynamic player as well, and leads from the front for the Chiefs and for her country. And as Liv said, she might be fancying herself here with open space, but it's a free kick at the scrum for Loughborough. And I think it's probably reaching that stage where I stop hyping up players for what they might be able to do in a match, because every time I seem to be doing that at the moment, the call goes the other way.
We've not been having great luck with that today, have we?
Really haven't. And Loughborough then have taken that one quickly. Svoboda then carries hard, hit hard as well, but a penalty advantage coming. And White flings it on to Field. She's unable to hold on, but we come back for the Loughborough penalty, not rolling away.
I do feel for Ebony there. It's really hard to roll away in those situations with how fast breakdowns are becoming. You just get trapped. There's not a lot you can do in that situation.
And especially, as you said, when from a free kick you've got someone like Sarah Svoboda that's looking to up the pace as quickly as she can. Grace White then finds touch just outside the Chiefs' 22. And on our clock there is just under a minute to go here. So a last chance for Loughborough and a last defensive set for the Chiefs as well. Field then taking on the call from Tatisha Harper. That's a good line out from Loughborough. They burst away quickly from the back through Trevathan. She's hit well and hit hard. There's Holtkamp then on the ball. Chiefs doing what they can here. There's a player down for the Chiefs in the middle of the park as Svoboda looks to move through. And the referee then makes the right call, have to stop the game that close to an injured player.
Yeah, it looks like Clara Nielsen's down.
Nielsen then receiving treatment. You could see after that tackle straight away, stayed on the ground. And the medical team then taking their time with her. She's up on her knees, which is positive to see. And when play does get back underway, it will be a Loughborough scrum. They are in possession, and Chiefs then will need to be on their guard one last time. Good to see Nielsen back on her feet. It's a bit of a stinger, it looked like there for the hooker. And Tisha Harper then just talking to the referee there. Time back on, it will be a Lightning scrum, as we said.
Yeah, Lightning are in a really strong position here, just outside our 22. I think they'll be definitely looking to get some points on the board before going into half-time.
Let's see what they choose to do then. Nobody on the blind side at all, everybody out in open field for the visitors. First phase is the scrum, and that's gone well for them. Chiefs, though, start to push against them, and Svoboda then spots a gap, bursts through. Kate Zachary just overran that tackle ever so slightly. And there's Grace White again on the ball. Emma Hardy feeds it out to Matatoga. Offloads inside to Georgie Lingham, and they're into the 22 now. Chiefs then have to realign, have to be ready. To Tisha Harper, that's a huge hit on her, and Chiefs send her driving backwards. And Weaver then looks to show, looks to go herself. She's tackled and wrapped up well. Gone backwards there on the ground, says the referee. Chiefs putting the pressure on, rucking over the ball brilliantly, and a penalty for offside. That's superb defensive work from the Chiefs.
Huge defensive effort, yeah, I think. Definitely rising to the occasion. They'll have a great buzz about them now.
And you sense, I think that is the half, that they just tap this one and kick it off. Although it looks like Garcia is still fancying a bit more play at the end of this first period. Good nudge there from the Spaniard up to the 10-metre line. The clock then well over 40 at half-time.
I think it'll be interesting to see what Chiefs will do here if we get our line out. Whether they'll just run a few forwards phases and kick it out, or whether they actually want to go for some more points.
As well, one last defensive set, like we said, for Loughborough. The one thing that might sway the decision for the Chiefs, Loughborough have been defending very well so far, it has to be said. Georgie Lingham has been fantastic cutting off that outside pass for the Chiefs as they've looked to get it over to Sinclair. The line out, though, has gone over the top, and it's bouncing and bobbling around, and there's a knock-on the ground there from a Loughborough player and then from a Chiefs player. And a slightly scrappy, messy end to the first half. In many ways, that's a slight microcosm of what the first 40 minutes have been like, you have to say.
Yeah, I think going into the changing rooms, they're going to have to get their heads together and work out what's going wrong, because I don't think they can keep playing like this. They need to sort out all their handling skills. Even still, they'll see Chiefs things to improve on, but 12-10 up at half-time, and when things have gone well, they've gone very well. A fantastic try from Hope Rogers, and then McKinley Hunt doing what she does best. Yeah, 100%. When they've managed to sort out their structure and really come together, there have been some really good things set up. I just think hopefully when they come out after half-time, take a deep breath and make that a more common occurrence. So, half-time upon us then. We're going to take a short break up here on the gantry, and we'll be back with you then in about 10 minutes' time.
Welcome back then for the second half. You can hear the roar below me as the Chiefs make their way back out onto the field. Loughborough out very, very early for this one. Just having a look down there, no changes that I can see for either side. And Garcia then will get us back underway for this second 40 minutes here at Sandy Park. And you suspect Chiefs have probably come out here after that first half with a bit of a point to prove and perhaps probably some stern words in that changing room.
Yeah, I think they'll be really looking to kick on this half. I think they won't be particularly happy with the 12-10, although giving full credit to Loughborough, they've been playing incredibly so far. As soon as they've got ball in hand, they've been a real threat every time.
Garcia then gets us back underway. That one's taken cleanly. But a penalty though for the Chiefs, and that's just the start that they wanted and needed.
I think straight after the half-time, that'll be quite rough for Loughborough to take straight off the bat a penalty, and Chiefs to straight into their 22.
Garcia then will hopefully pump this one to within sight of the try line. Not a bad kick at all considering the angle. And the Chiefs then give or take 15 metres out from the line. And can the Chiefs then make the perfect start to this half? First job done well. Leach takes that brilliantly in the air. But it's lost in the ruck though. Not quite clicking there as they look to get that one to the back. You can hear Laura Delgado there shouting, "Let's go," trying to up the intensity for her side and put the pressure back on at this scrum.
I think Loughborough might look to kick straight off this scrum. I know that they kick off their 10. So we've got Merrin and Liv slightly sat back.
We've seen the boot of Grace White and also from Emma Hardy in the first half, picking up a fair whack of meters, it has to be said. They look to play it though, and Matatoga then picks the ball up in midfield, wrestled to ground by Kobayashi. Weaver to White, spins it wide to Swartz. She feeds Georgie Lingham. And Loughborough then being adventurous in these early stages of the second half. Just outside their 22 now with that carry from field. And Chiefs are scrambling, looking to get over it.
Yeah, I think Loughborough definitely, well, we're trying to make a statement there that they're not just going to kick the ball and give it back to us. They want to fight and they want to try and play out of their 22.
Not quite there in the end then for Loughborough. Spill forward from Courtney Holtkamp. Centre field scrum then just outside of the 22. A prime opportunity for the Chiefs if they can get clean ball. And nice options to choose from should the ball come out cleanly. Garcia, Cantona, Kobayashi, Jones lined up on this left-hand side. Doidge and Sinclair on that far side. Loughborough then have split themselves, put 3 players on that far side, so there is a potential overlap for the Chiefs on this left-hand side if they choose to use it, if they're able to use it. And Bradley has seen that. It's out to Garcia, and here's the space. She goes straight away to Kobayashi, to Jones. Jones with space to stretch her legs. Tackled well by Pyle. And there's Zachary charging forward. Van der Velden, lovely step from Van der Velden. She's just 2 metres out now. And there's Bradley, picked up by Delgado.
Can hear Susie down below shouting Rhino. In this area, you don't want to risk it with hands, play it safe, forwards carries.
And we all know what that means normally for the Chiefs. Got to keep building though here. And have they been able to wrestle their way over the line? Yes, they have. It's a 3rd score for the Exeter Chiefs. And it's McKinley Hunt again. It's her second try of the match. And that was just the start that the Chiefs needed to this half. And a simple enough conversion you would expect, hopefully, for Garcia as well.
Yeah, I think that's unfortunate for Loughborough. They've been showing some great intent so far, and I think we just got on top of them there, but I think they'll come back strong, and I don't think we can go to sleep just yet.
For the first time then, and I say a little bit because it really isn't much, but some breathing space for Chiefs. 7 points ahead on the scoreboard, and go more than a score ahead if Garcia is able to add this conversion. Let's see what the Spaniard can do with this one. Steadies herself, goes up on her toes. And easy as you like from Patricia Garcia.
Yeah, and those 2 points there are really important, I think, because that takes us more than a converted try ahead of Loughborough, so we do have a slight bit of security.
A crucial try for the Chiefs, and whilst that line out didn't quite function as they would have hoped first time round, then saw how dangerous Chiefs can be as soon as they get to within sight of the try line. A couple of changes down below us then for the Chiefs. Emily Tatosi and Dalika Menin coming off. Clara Nielsen and Laura Delgado. Their work is done for the day. And a warm round of applause for the Chiefs. Back underway quickly.
Yeah, I think the scrums so far have been pretty evenly matched, so I think it'll be interesting to see if the new legs in the front row will have any part in giving Exeter the stronger scrummage.
There's a good carry there and quick ball, just what's needed for the Chiefs. Garcia then on to Leach. Bradley then just has to make sure she holds on to that ball, does well. Tatosi, first carry for her. You could hear that one and feel that one from up here. Did well to hold on to it. Leach again, cuts back inside, wrestled to ground. You can hear Susie saying, use the boot, use the boot. Dalika Menin, her first touch. Chiefs holding on to the ball well, but going backwards a little bit here. And Bradley now steadies herself.
You can see the Loughborough players starting to drop quite early. It'll be interesting to see if the Chiefs girls pick up on that.
Snaffling Bradley, putting her under all sorts of pressure there at the base. Chiefs just trying to hold on to the ball, trying to keep the composure, set themselves up for Bradley to send this box kick up. And up it goes from the scrum half. That's one for Liv Jones to chase. Taken well from Amy Pyle. And the ball's fed back to Swartz, and Swartz is off. A lovely step from the fullback. Flings it wide to Georgie Lingham. And now it's a foot race. Lingham against Doidge. Who's going to win out here? Lingham's going. Lingham's rounding the fullback. Doidge unable to get there. It's a wonderful counter-attacking score from Loughborough. And they're straight back into the game here.
Yeah, I think that was a great initial chase from Liv Jones to cut off the closed side, but really well Loughborough there. I've seen that the open side is on, and a great carry to finish it.
And for Loughborough, obviously, down by a score, needing to get back into the game quickly, and that's exactly what they've done.
I think that just shows the danger of being disconnected in your kick chase. So easy to exploit when you've got the class that Loughborough have got in their backs today.
Another challenging conversion for Grace White. And you look at it quite a lot of the time when the ball's cleared and the decision's made not to go to touch, that it can be such a dangerous place to have to defend from if a side can get themselves motoring forward there like Loughborough were able to.
Yeah, I think that side for a scrum half is quite hard to find touch. I know, speaking from myself being a scrum half, the other side is a lot easier to find touch on. And I think Liv Jones did do a great job of trying to compete for it, didn't quite get there, and this is what it's led to.
third conversion attempt of the afternoon then for Grace White. Unable to slot that one from the touchline again. So it's 19-15 here, and we've got a game on our hands at Sandy Park. The Chiefs then still in the lead, but only by 4 points. And Garcia then, just be a slight delay there. Poppy Leach doing up her shoelace on that far side. And Garcia then is going to get us underway. Coming back towards this main stand here. It's taken well by Loughborough's Hayley Taufu and fed onwards. And the ball's then carried back. It's charged down by Olivia Jones, and now there's a foot race. Grace White has to go tracking back, and she's carried the ball over the line there. 5 metre scrum then for the Chiefs, and Liv Jones against her former club. Fantastic bit of defensive work there, and now secured a prime attacking opportunity for her side.
Yeah, great awareness there from Liv to charge that down and then continue the chase and force Loughborough to carry it over. And now a great attacking opportunity for Chiefs on the 5 metre.
We've been building it up a lot. Might be the commentator's curse, but I am going to say it again. If this scrum gets motoring forward, you have to sense Kate Zachary would probably fancy herself from this sort of range off the base.
Yeah, you can see Gabby Cantona setting up though. She's promoted. She might be offering a short line along with an 8 pick.
Let's see what happens then. It's a good scrum from the Chiefs. It's going forwards. Penalty advantage coming. Zachary controls it at the base. Dives over. And hopefully that's the end of my curse for the afternoon. But really well worked from the Chiefs. But you have to say that all comes from a fantastic defensive set from Liv Jones.
Yeah, 100%. And with Chiefs wheeling that slightly there, it's almost a walk-in for Kate. That would have been pretty much impossible for Loughborough to have defended.
And crucially for the Chiefs as well in the group, that is the bonus point score. 24-15 with the conversion to come as well. And Garcia then will line this one up. A nice little bit of club music to celebrate that try as well from the PA system here at Sandy Park. And Garcia then lining this one up just from the left of the post. Brilliant nudge from Garcia. Why would you ever expect anything less from the Spaniards? And Chiefs then stretch their legs again, and they're 11 points clear here. 26-15 with 52 minutes on the clock. Challenge now. They've got to hold on to the ball and make sure they don't gift Loughborough an attacking opportunity again. Loughborough then quickly get us back underway, straight down the channel of Olivia Jones. She runs straight into Matatoga and Pyle, taken to ground well. That's Tosi with the carry. Abrasive carry from the Canadian. Garcia then, that was a difficult pass for her to gather, and she's unable to control it on the ground. And an opportunity straight away again for Loughborough Lightning here in an attacking position.
Yeah, I think it's quite interesting that we've gone to try and kick off our 10 there, because that's not usually our tactic. So I wonder what conversation has been going on between Brooke and Pat to make that decision.
And Loughborough then have got options both sides here. Garcia just coming over to match up in the defensive line. And interestingly for Loughborough fly half, Grace White is on this blind side. Emma Hardy standing at first receiver with below Matatoga just outside her. So let's see what the visitors choose to do here with the ball. And the Chiefs then have managed to get the drive on, managed to get the shunt on. That's a huge scrum, drawn the penalty advantage. And you can see Poppy Leach fist pumping there, celebrating. And the crowd rightly applauding that one as well. We talked about a statement in the first half with that maul, but that was a real statement in this second half with that scrum effort there as well.
Yeah, I think to turn over someone else's scrum is quite hard for an attacking team. Your head gets down massively, because now from them being in a strong position, it's completely flipped, and we've got a big opportunity here with a set play.
And Emily Totosi straight over there to the ball boy, wanting the ball quickly. And a sub then for the Chiefs below us as well, and it's Janine Desevo coming on for Ailey Sinclair.
Do you know, it's said that Janine is my long-lost sister, because we both look so alike, and you know what? I'll take it.
I have to say, I can see the resemblance. In the meantime, though, it's a good line out from the Chiefs, and they're away again. Desevo then will be fancying herself with ball in hand once she manages to get her hands on the ball, but in the meantime, that Chiefs maul doing the damage again up to the Loughborough 10-metre line. And Bradley, it's quick ball, good ball. Cantona at first receiver to Jeffries, runs straight through Hardy, but Hardy pulls her to ground eventually. Garcia wants people to come round the side to carry, no one's there, so Poppy Leach has to take it on. And Loughborough have realigned now in defence. Garcia, though, sees the space, little chip through, that's for Desevo to chase, put the pressure on, and it's bounced into touch, but it's come off a Loughborough hand. There's a good decision from Garcia, and a really good chase from Desevo as well, a good first involvement in the match.
Yeah, I think the sheer pace there from Janine put great pressure on the fullback, and there wasn't really a lot she could do there.
And for the Chiefs then, the way this has been going with the maul game, I think the pack will be wanting to keep this one for themselves again. And see if they can just turn the screw a little bit here and try and break down what's been an incredibly resilient performance so far from Loughborough Lightning here. Line out taken incredibly well at the back there from Van der Velden. And the maul now starts moving forwards. Totosi then has her hands on the ball, 2 metres out, 1 metre out, and Emily Totosi is over. Chiefs then stretch the lead. And you wonder if that could be the try that finally breaks the resolve of this Loughborough effort so far. We talk about Clara Nielsen scoring lots of tries in this competition. Emily Totosi's been enjoying herself getting over the line in recent weeks as well, and having players like her and Clara and Daisy French as well to choose from at hooker, there's so much strength in depth and options for Susie Appleby going forwards.
Yeah, I think week in, week out, you see in training there's great competition for that shirt, and I think the fluidity between the starting hooker is quite high at the moment.
Garcia then will line this kick up for her side as well, and we talk about the fluidity. See, Nielsen started both cup games so far, her and Totosi, two experienced players competing over that starting berth, and then a young gun like Daisy French as well, showing what she can do when she gets her opportunity. Garcia then to line this one up. Lovely effort from the Spaniard again. And it's 33-15 now to Exeter. Change for Loughborough as well. Jill Bork and Isla Curfey are on for Loughborough. They're replacing Letitia Harper and Bryony Field. And a change for the Chiefs as well. Meg Foster coming on for Gabby Cantona. Good to see Gabby getting some minutes back in again. And she receives a warm round of applause. As Loughborough get the game back underway. It's taken well there by Chiefs, and Van der Velden has to get that ball out quickly. Foster then has gone into the fly half position. Garcia then has switched back to inside centre, played there several times this season for the Chiefs. Say Patricia Garcia, let's be brutally honest, she can play absolutely anywhere. There's a good bit of play there at the ruck though from Loughborough, and they forced a knock on. Trevarvan then, bit scrappy, but she manages to hold on to it between her legs. And then Svoboda sends a bobbling one backwards, no advantage coming. And it's a scrum for the visitors in a good attacking position. And Chiefs now then will want to show their muscle again at scrum time. An opportunity then for the two new players on the field for the visitors, Bork and Curfey, to get right into the thick of the action and do what they do best and what they enjoy doing most as well. That one hasn't quite gone to plan for either side. It's taken a little bit of time there, went straight to ground, and Tosi then is needing a little bit of attention there. You could hear the murmur from the crowd. And important here then for the medical side, just to make sure that Tosi is okay. Good to see that she is. Let's see what the visitors can do here. One more try for Loughborough, remember, gets them a try bonus point as well. And a free kick is a good first start for them, and Weaver taps it, takes it quickly. Hardy out to Grace White on the wraparound. That's a lovely ball out wide. Swartz picks it up. Tackled well, though, by Kobayashi on that far side, but she's still fighting and she's battled her way just inside that Chiefs 22. And the ball then spun wide and chipped through. And Exeter have to go back searching for it. Through Brooke Bradley. Juggles it. It's gone backwards, says the referee. But Exeter then under pressure, camped 5 metres out from their line and needing to be sensible here with the decision that they make. Bradley then gets it away, not much distance on it, but safety first from the scrum half and just gets that one into touch. Just under 20 minutes to go then, and Chiefs have managed to stretch their legs a bit here, Liv, but Loughborough's still fighting and looking to try and get themselves back into the game again.
Yeah, definitely. This is a massive opportunity for them. The scoreboard, I don't think, reflects how close this game has been fought. And I think there is still time. It is rugby. There is still time for them to come back into this here.
First phase from the line out from the visitors then is a good one. And Chiefs then holding them up as best as they can. Bork comes away with it, and the ball is then spread wide, and Grace White checks and cuts back inside herself. Svoboda then with the ball, met hard by Jeffries, and Menin forcing her to ground. Chiefs then staying onside, doing well there. And Bryony Field still on for her side, and Hardy then out to Matatoga, looks to free the hands, but she's wrapped up well by Doidge, sensing the danger there, the fullback. And there's Trevarthen again, pumps the legs, gets herself to ground. And the crossfield kick is on again. Slightly too much on that though, and it bounces into touch, but 5 metres out from the Chiefs line.
Yeah, even though Loughborough haven't managed to regather that ball, it's still a great outcome for them. Huge amount of pressure back on Chiefs here. Let's see what they do to exit.
And Loughborough then are lining up 2 subs below us as well. And here they come now then, so it's Amy Ralph and Bo Westcombe-Evans coming on for the visitors. Georgie Lingham and Jess Weaver then coming off for them, and Jess Weaver's had a really good game at scrum half today for the visitors.
Yeah, she just injects energy into the game. She's an under-20s player, or was last year. She's 1 year too old now, and I know she's just been in England Sevens camp, so she's fit, and I think she's really done well today.
You could hear the murmurs there from the crowd. Chiefs just managing to come away with the ball. And they start getting that maul rolling. And Bradley's then looked down the blind side to Jones, and there is space here for Jones. Crashes up and makes valuable meters for her side, hauled down to ground by Amy Pyle, another player who had a really good game for the visitors this afternoon. And Bradley then just steadying things, marshalling things. Holtkamp doing what she can to try and disrupt. And it's up in the air, and it's one to chase. It's taken well by Emma Hardy. Bryony Field and Hallie Taufu then having to mop up, with Amy Ralph stuck in the middle of that previous ruck. That's a big hit there from Van der Velden on Grace White. She's got to roll away. She's been unable to. She's got trapped in there. Leach then races up, no advantage coming, and it will be a penalty for the visitors. We talked about how tough it is in the first half with Ebony Jeffries and Linda Van der Velden there. Just so difficult to roll away when the pressure's coming on that quickly.
Yeah, I think she made an effort to the ref to show that she was trying, but she was in the way, and it meant that the 9 couldn't play the ball quickly.
Couple of subs wandering down below us then for the Chiefs again as well. First one coming on, and in fact both of them coming on, so Lizzie Hanlon and Gabby Senft on for try scorer Hope Rogers and Linda Van der Velden as well. Another try scoring game from Hope Rogers, but Loughborough then not waiting around, taking the ball quickly, and a hard line hit there from Katie Trevarthen. And it's spilt in midfield though from Loughborough just when they were picking up a head of steam. And that's a less off for the Chiefs. And a first opportunity then for Lizzie Hanlon in the front row to see what she can do up against Jill Bork and Isla Curfey. Bradley then to put into this scrum. Not quite working there though on that far side. Referee just coming over, having a word. We'll have a scrum reset. You can hear the discussions going on. Well, I'm not sure if you can, but we can certainly hear the discussions going on below us from the Chiefs coaching team as well, just seeing what they can do and see what messages they can get onto the field as well to try and help push this game a bit further for their side. In the meantime though, Foster spins the ball wide to Kobayashi, boot to ball from Kobayashi, and now it's a foot race, and Gabby Senft and Olivia Jones are after this one. Gabby Senft, what a turn of pace from the number 8, but that is superbly taken on the ground there by Amanda Swartz, tidying up for her side there under extreme pressure. And Loughborough then now needing to carry, needing to hold on to the ball. There's Holtkamp again. And they've just got a little bit lost and a little bit muddled there. Amy Ralph then feeds the ball back, and they're looking for that crossfield option again. Straight though to Meryn Doidge, and she sets off, does Doidge. Seen her with those elusive feet several times already in the last couple of weeks. She's into the 22. The ball spun on, it's gone forwards though, and it's been picked up by Hallie Taufu, and she bursts through Detevo, pulling her down.
It's a great cover tackle from Janine there.
It's a brilliant covering tackle there. I don't know what it is about flankers at the moment that seem to have a turn of pace that fullbacks and wings would be proud of. And Taufu is another one. Grace White then puts boot to ball, straight to Brooke Bradley. And she chips forward for herself and goes chasing after it. A bouncing ball, a difficult bouncing ball, and Bradley's managed to get her hands to it. And Chiefs then with possession. Hanlon to Leach. Good work there from Hanlon to get there. And as scrum half, there's Menin then, and the Chiefs are up to the 22 fortuitously. And Detevo steps in at scrum half, and the ball's gone to Garcia, to Jeffries. Jeffries juggles, holds onto it. Ebony Jeffries cuts back inside, and she's going to race in under the posts nearly. The Chiefs then have their 6th try of the match. And I tell you what, that's vintage Ebony Jeffries there.
Yeah, you've just been talking about how flankers are starting to have the skills of backs. You saw that naughty little dummy there from Ebony. Great display of hands and the right decision. All starting from a great solo effort from Brooke. She saw the space in behind with a little chip. Bounce went her way and really built from there.
Meg Foster then taking over the kicking duties for her side, and the Chiefs then up to 38, and 2 more subs below us as well. Charlie Willett, Meg Davies coming on to the field, and it's McKinley Hunt and Brooke Bradley who make way. Liv, obviously similar to you and Meg, 2 young scrum halves, and well, I say young scrum halves, every scrum half seems to be young in the Chiefs squad at the moment, but it's great to see Meg getting some regular minutes as well, and looking to keep that depth going.
Yeah, 100%. I think, like me, Meg had a big injury at the start of the season, so it's great to see her back out there, getting a couple of minutes and showing what she can do as a young player in this side.
And Foster then adds the conversion. Chiefs are up to 40, and Molly Lufei coming on for the visitors as well. Back underway then here, and almost taken by Amy Pyle, but it's bounced and bobbled into touch. It'll be a Chiefs line out then. Instructions from Lizzie Hanlon to Emily Totosi. Another perfect line out then from the Chiefs. And there's space here for Liv Jones, beautifully worked by her and Meg Davies, and Jones then bursts through the first tackle up into the Loughborough half, and Garcia then steps in. Foster, though, the ball doesn't really go to anybody, and Matatoga picks it up. Just a little breakdown of communication there from the Chiefs, which is a shame, because that was a lovely first phase, but then it's lost forward from Oyeka as well. A little bit scrappy there from both teams. Liv Jones, though, really starting to get a bit of head steam up when she gets those meters going.
Yeah, I think we've done really well today at keeping Loughborough honest in the short side and really testing them both sides of the breakdown. That being a very good example as a 9. Meg picked up on the fact that there was a short side, probably getting comms from Liv out wide, and the gas of Liv once she gets going is very hard to stop.
Scrum then in the centre field. It'll be for the Chiefs. A sub as well for Loughborough. Beyonce Fowler has come on. Bryony Field, her work is done for the day, so Jill Bork will shift across from prop to hooker for her side. And Loughborough then putting pressure on, but Chiefs managed to get it away, but the pass from Foster comes out of the hands, drifts forward, and it'll be a Loughborough scrum. It's a little bit frantic, a little bit erratic there from the Chiefs. And Loughborough then, as we keep saying, still hunting for that bonus point. And they've got all of that far side to use. Chiefs then looking to put pressure on. It's picked up by Oyeka and Emma Hardy. That ball, though, goes behind Matatoga, and it's picked up by Detevo. And Detevo then is up to the 10-metre line. And it's a lovely little chip through. And Loughborough then have to go chasing back and boot to ball again. That one, though, is going straight down the throat of Davies. Gets the ball away well to Garcia, and Garcia, live wire footwork there. Davies, though, has stayed down for the Chiefs. She's back up on her feet, though, but for the moment, Exeter without a scrum half. Detevo steps in and spins it on to Tosi, does incredibly well to hold on to that ball there. And the ball then to Kobayashi, but it's drifted forwards as they tried to get the ball away to the Japanese international.
Yeah, Meg Davies there, really good hands to get that ball away, but did expose her ribs for a big shot.
And when you've got players like Loughborough have got in that centre field, like Matatoga, that is the one thing you do not want to do, is expose your rib cage, because you will be feeling it for a good few days afterwards. Looking at the game clock then, we're 6 or 7 minutes still to go in the game. Liv, I know there's still time on the clock, there's still a lot that can happen, but how would you assess this second half so far from the Chiefs as they start to get the march on again at the scrum?
Yeah, I think this second half has been going a lot better. We've been trying a lot more things. For example, that kick through there. And I think we've started to come together better as a team. Our handling has improved slightly, but I think from both sides it just hasn't been on point today, which you would expect from two top-class sides in this league.
Penalty then, Susie Appleby shouting, let's play, let's play. Meg Foster then will pump this one into the corner. And a more conservative approach from the Chiefs on the field. It's a good touch finder there. Almost a good touch finder, I should say, from the American. Doesn't quite manage to get it to touch. Kept in play very well by Bo Westcombe-Evans.
Yeah, I think that's a hard decision. She was quite near the centre of the pitch, which means it is a hard kick to find touch, but when it takes that long to get the ball back to the spot where the referee is, tapping and going is almost silly, because you'll just get shut down so quickly by the defence, who are already well set.
Loughborough then clear, and that one finds Meg Davies. You can't miss her with the orange boots. It's picked up though by Doidge, and Doidge bursts through the first tackle, runs head first into Matatoga. Probably the first time today actually that Matatoga's been shunted backwards in the tackle, but Garcia onto Jones, bouncing ball, has to collect it, still can't collect it. It bounces and bobbles eventually into touch.
Yeah, great class there from Merrin, great run. Another player that has been in and amongst the England Sevens in the last couple of camps, so it's great to see her to get her legs going and make some strong carries. And
Merrin Doidge, I should add, Cup and League, the only player that has played every single match for Exeter Chiefs women. Some durability that from the fullback, comfortable on the wing as well. In the last few weeks we've really seen her starting to grow into that position even more, starting to bring those beautiful arcing running lines like we just saw there into the game as well at second receiver.
Yeah, and she's another great example of the quality that Exeter University have been producing for this Premiership side. I think the fact that she's played every week and managed to keep on top of her studies is credit to her.
It's a bit of time off then, some running repairs for Loughborough, and Meg Davies just having a quick chat with one of the Chief staff down there on the pitch as well. Obviously that huge hit on her a couple of minutes ago. Just wanted to check she's okay. A bit of a silence around Sandy Park. Chiefs, though, will go up to 14 points in the group. That will put them top, ahead of a showdown next weekend away against Saracens, which will be the final match of these pool stages before going into the knockouts. And Chiefs then will be really wanting to hunt for that home semi-final berth if they're able to secure it. For the meantime, though, Jill Bork to throw in for her side. Shortened line out from Loughborough, and it's not quite worked out. Jones picks it up, gets it on to Menin against her former club. Burstory 1, Burstory 2, looks to feed the hands. Can't quite free those, but Leach is there quickly to Willett. Willett drives hard into Holtkamp. Tackled well though. And Davis to Garcia. Steps back inside. Chiefs then biding their time, being careful with possession here. Kobayashi head down, charging 5 metres out now. It's picked up by Leach and tipped on again to Delika Menin. 2 metres out now, Exeter Chiefs. 1 metre out now with that carry from Gabby Senft. And the ball then picked up by Zachary. Fighting there, looks like it's held up if she can't get it back. She's done well to get that back to Leach. Leach has a charge. Leach is still going, still having a little look. Tackled well initially by Hallie Taufu to push her backwards. And there's Totosi again, fancying a second try. Zachary again, Chiefs then just biding their time, building the phases, and there's Leach again to Jeffries, Ebony Jeffries, and she's in for her second under the posts. Referee having a look, and the arm goes up. Second try of the afternoon for Ebony Jeffries, and great composure there from the pack.
Yeah, massively. I think that was a great display of patience. All the hours that they spend up on the top training pitch practicing those rhinos. I know that it's grueling, but it's for moments like this where it massively pays off.
Obviously, we saw it a little bit in the first half, but it's the first time we've really seen that proper sustained attacking drive from the Chiefs, as well as the feel-good tunes come out around Sandy Park, and it was great to see that part of the game really getting back into full swing. Meg Foster then will line this one up. You'd expect Foster to be able to slot this one right in front of the posts, and just a couple of minutes left of the match. And she duly does. So 47-15, sorry, here at Sandy Park. And Foster adds her second successful conversion of the match. And the Chiefs then, with just a couple of minutes to go, will have their eyes on 50 points. In fact, that was full time by the looks of it. A little bit of a strange ending, actually. Didn't hear the referee blow the whistle, but that is full time here at Sandy Park. A little bit of a confusing ending. No one really quite knew what was going on there, but Exeter finishing with a try and finishing with arguably the best passage of play from them for the whole match. Yeah,
they came together really well at the end there, so I think it's a good place to finish, good high to end on for going into next week's match against Sarries.
So, like I said, a slightly awkward ending there. Nobody really knew that was full time, but Chiefs then get the job done, up to 14 points in the group. And Liv, who impressed you out there today?
I'm actually really not sure. I think always Ebony Jeffries. She's such a strong player. She's made awesome carries today. So I would say Ebony Jeffries.
Well, there we go then. The unofficial player of the match from up here on the gantry is Ebony Jeffries. A fantastic performance from her. It's great to see her running those beautiful lines again, as always. Loughborough then, I have to say, obviously Chiefs stretched their legs in the end, but I don't think that scoreline reflects the involvement that they had in this game.
No, I think definitely in the first half it was a real competition between both backs and forwards. So I think the scoreline, I think Loughborough will be quite disappointed with it. But yeah, very good win for Chiefs, and looking on to next week.
And building into next week then, we've touched on it there, a showdown at Saracens, the StoneX Stadium. Just making sure I've got the right name there, and obviously Chiefs versus Saracens, it's a huge rivalry in the men's game. It's been a big rivalry in the women's game as well, see, creating their own history. That victory against Saracens at Sandy Park last season to end that 33-match unbeaten run, and a chance to go to the StoneX and get a first win away from home as well if Chiefs are able to convert.
Yeah, it's always a big occasion going away to Sarries, but I think we've got a lot of pace in this team, and the StoneX being a 4G, I think some of our players will definitely be looking to stretch their legs and get some good runs in.
So you can see there Patricia Garcia just having a word with the referee, thanking him. Tony Rowe then down there, Steve Salvin, Susie Appleby with the squad in the huddle. And the referee just quickly saying well done, and thank you to Susie Appleby as well. In that huddle now, obviously they'll be pleased with the result, but I suppose a lot of it will be about turning the attention straight away to that game next weekend.
Yeah, I think we'll do a quick reflection on this game, but we won't hang too heavily on it because our attention will now be turned, as you said, to the big game next week up at Sarries.
And that will be a big game, looking to seal top spot in this group and a home semi-final in the Allianz Cup. Thank you very much for joining us today at Sandy Park. Six Nations is on at the moment, so there's a string of cup games coming through for the Chiefs. That game, then a semi-final, and whatever way it goes, a placings final as well, before we are back into Allianz Premiership action. So there will be hopefully a home semi-final, but in the meantime, two huge home games to end the Premier 15 season. Saracens in round 17, and then a West Country derby against Bristol Bears in round 18. Both of those games are going to have huge ramifications in the battle for the top four, the battle for the home semi-finals, and we hope you will join us for those as well. So Liv, thank you very much for joining me and for sprinting up from the pitch at the start of the match.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for having me. It's been great fun.
And thank you very much to all of you that have joined the stream from home. Post-match reaction will follow on Exeter Chiefs YouTube channel and online as well, so make sure that you're following that. And we'll see you again for the next one here from Sandy Park.